Awesome. So can you see my screen now? No, really? Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Can you see my screen now? Some people are saying yes. Let me check. Awesome. So which window you are able to see? Is it Skype or browser? That add-ons page? Skype. Oh, my bad. Let me share my other screen. I don't know. How can I? Okay, from yesterday, what we learned is setting up Eclipse, JDK. Then we learn about Selenium IDE. I already shared a video on Selenium IDE that is more detailed video. So please go through that. This is day 2 session. So let's get started. Today's agenda is to learn locators. So there are different type of locators in Selenium. Guys, locator in Selenium IDE is little bit different than the locators in WebDriver. I will try to cover locators from WebDriver. So first locator is ID, then name, tagged name. That is also one of the interview question. What are the different locators available in Selenium? ID, name, tag name, class name, link, text. I will go through one by one. Partial, link text, CSS, selector actually to be more precise, and XPath. Okay, so the first is so the first locator is ID. You know why we need a locator? The reason is we need locator to locate element for simulating user action. For example, I wanted to click on a button. The very first thing is you should locate that button. Until and unless you're not able to locate or identify that button, you won't be able to click on that button, right? So, these locators have some uh, unique features that help us to identify element. So I will go one by one. Let's take example. I will open some website. Let's say new tools.dem. Okay, I will take some real-time example instead of the demo application. Guys, if you have any application, just let me know. I can take that in the next session. But for now, I will choose some website. Maybe let's take example yahoo.com. Yahoo is little bit complex. It has so much UI content, but still, let's do it. All right. So what we do? How do we locate element? Or we can also call as how do we find locator? How do we find locator? So for that you need two things. There are two add-ons for a Firefox. The first add-on is Firebug. I already installed that add-on for on Firefox. Okay, can you see that bug icon to my browser here? There is a bug icon. So this is a Firefox Firebug, and you can get this Firebug from the you can just simply Google or Firebug. Just Google Firebug, you will see the first link, and you need to say that add to Firefox. Okay, I already have it, so I'm not going to add it again. And that was the first add-on. Second add-on is FirePath. So FirePath is again, first you need to do install Firebug and then go install FirePath. So I already installed that FirePath, and after installing FirePath I can see a new tab in my Firebug. So let me close that Firebug. See, this is my Yahoo page. Now I am opening Firebug. Just click on that bug icon. It is activated, and you can see the Firebug is coming up, popping up at the bottom of my screen. So guys, if you have any questions, just put that question into Skype chat. I will try to answer while this session is going on. So after installing FirePath, you will be able to see this FirePath, and with some options like XPath and CSS. I will tell you, I will come to how to use FirePath, okay? But this is prerequisite for today's session. You should have Firefox first, then Firebug, and then FirePath. Three things you should have. So now we have Firebug is helps with many things. The first is understand HTML. Can you see that first tag HTML? So it will give you the complete HTML of your web page. So I can expand that body, I can go to any div, I can read actually what is in there of that HTML page. Okay. So like take any other example. Can anybody suggest me any simple website, not very complex or something? Let's say Moto. Let's find out Motorola's website. Maybe that will help. So Motorola in India. Let's try. Okay, the Firebug is gone. You need to open that Firebug. So I'm just clicking Firebug icon. I can see Firebug, and I'm able to read the HTML. All right. So let's take example. I wanted to check this Motorola logo. So what you need to do is, can you see this a small button which is like a box with an arrow? You just need to click on here and go to that element in which you are interested. See, it is getting highlighted. I will click now. Okay, it's clicked. And in the HTML, you will see img src is equal to something. See, this is the image. If I put my mouse over, it will show me image. And alt is equal to home. Style is equal to opacity 1. So this is the image, which I actually inspected. So I am seeing some message from MPS Gavde, not able to see your screen. Guys, you are able to see my screen, right? Yes. All right. So maybe he is not connected to GoToMeeting, maybe. Can somebody please share that same link on the Skype group so that he can join meeting? All right. So see, this is the image tag in which I am interested. It is having alt equal to home. Now somebody asked me that HTML knowledge is required. Actually, yes. So HTML basics knowledge is required for Selenium automation testing. And now what is the purpose of alt? Can anybody tell me what is the purpose of alt? Yes. Nobody? Okay. So ALT means alternative text. If that image is not, yeah, very good. It is tooltip. If that image is not displayed, it will show that home text. Or if you put your mouse over that image, it will show a tooltip with the text. Okay. So that is the purpose of ELT. And let's say there is the test case, you have to verify if you put your mouse on the image, it should show home. So instead of putting mouse over that image, directly go to HTML and read ELT is equal to what is the value. This is the easiest way. All right. So That's one example. Let me try with any other examples. Can you see a div ID equal to privacy banner? Where is that? It should be somewhere. Okay, it is Lenovo. It has to be somewhere, you know. Guys, do you have any other website? I can take that, or I can just continue with Lenovo, this Motorola website, but it is little bit complicated at the beginning. idbibank.com. Don't try to automate banking logins, guys. Okay, that is a security threat. You might get caught if you try to automate banking sites. Okay, I can try that. I should not actually. IRCTC. Okay, just homepage. Okay, IRCTC makes sense. I know it's one of the slowest website on the earth, but let's give a try. Redbus makes sense. Yes, redbus.in. Awesome. Redbus. All right, so I think Redbus is a good example. Let's go with Redbus. See, there is a link buy tickets. So if I click on that, I can see a tag which is having a class is equal to selected bus, href equal to something, title equal to Redbus. Okay. Now there is a section which is having ID. There is another section which is having RH header. Okay. Now let's take example. I wanted to find this element header equal to header which is having ID is equal to RH header. Okay, RH for red bus maybe, I don't know. So let's identify this element. The locator techniques that we are learning is first ID. So to locate an element with the help of ID, that element should have ID is equal to, so here I see ID is equal to header. So I can locate this element with ID. Okay, now so, the locator we will write is by dot id in a Java code. This is how we will write a locator, rh underscore header. It is a case sensitive. Whatever you write in a double quote is a case sensitive for locator. So this is the way we will write a locator. Okay, I will just give you a hint. Practically I will tell you how to do it in Eclipse. Another is name. Let's say any element which is having name equal to, okay, and that element you have to locate. So I'm not sure if there is any. Okay, there is 8 matching elements, but those are, I think, meta tags. I don't see name equal to assigned to any element. Maybe on IRCTC I may find some element. So in HTML, okay, there is a form which is having name. Okay, there is an input tag. Okay, maybe let's try with this user ID input tag. Let's try to inspect that. Can you see it is having what? ID is equal to username. So for IRCTC, that if you wanted to locate that element, then you can locate it by ID. It also has user name equal to. Can you see that? Name equal to J underscore username. You can also use this alternatively, any one of this. So this is also valid. You can locate that element with name. Third option was tag name. You can locate that element with the tag name. So you will write locator like this, by dot tag name. See, if you have observed, T is in small case, N is in capital, because it is the method name in Java. Input. But the problem with by tag name input, there are so many input tags on my page. There are so many input tags. Okay, how to check that how many input tags are there? Just go to Firepath. Make sure you have selected CSS and just type INPUT. hit enter. It will tell you how many input tags are there. How many? This is 26. Can you see that 26 number at the left bottom corner? 26 matching nodes? I think yes. So if you're not able to see, just message me. So there are 26 input tags. 1, 2, 3. This is one. This is second. There are many actually. This is another one. This is also one input tag. See, this checkbox is also one. This login button is also one input tag. There are many. Even that search checkbox, if it is there, then that also an input tag. So this is valid, but it will match with multiple elements. I will come to this topic, how to deal with uh, uh, a locator which is matching with multiple elements. Okay, let's go back to HTML. Guys, do everything in HTML. If you wanted to read HTML, use HTML tag. Okay, if you want to confirm that how many elements are there or something like that, if you want to confirm that this CSS is right, if you want to confirm that the XPath that you are writing is valid or not, then go with the fire path. Okay, so this is input. It has having user ID, it having class. See, there is class equal to is there. So I told you, right, after tag name, the next is, you can also look at that element by tag name, not tag name, sorry, my bad, it is class name. Okay, so login user ID is the class name. Okay, so you can locate that element with login user ID. This is also valid. What is next? Link text and partial link text. This is only for hyperlinks. Okay, this is only for hyperlink. CSS selector and XPath is also there. These are two this considered to be advanced locator because it gives more option, not just by ID, name, tag name, and class name. So I will come to how to write CSS and XPath. It will take some time. Link text and partial link text, let's take example of hyperlink. So let's say you have a hyperlink, let's say forget password. Okay, this is the hyperlink. So you can see that it is having a text as what? Forget password. So I will just copy that. Okay, Kiran asked question, what is CSS means? CSS means Cascade Style Sheet Selector. So Cascade Style Sheet Selector. So it is mostly used for like what we say, like colors and those theming kind of effect to your web page. So how to use that link text? So I will use by dot link text, and then you have to write whatever the text is. Let's say forget password. See, whatever you write here in double quote is case sensitive. I will come to CSS, Kiran. Okay. So user ID. This is the forget password link. Now I can locate that link with the help of link text. There is another option. By dot partial link text. Partial link text means you are not having the full link text. You just have some few words from that main link text. So you can use just forget. Okay, so by saying by dot partial link text, we will also locate the same forget password link, this link, because you are only giving forgets. For example, let's take example, welcome Vikas is displayed on the page, but if I change that username to something else, it will show that welcome that username. So instead of writing welcome Vikas as a link text, I would suggest to go with by dot partial link text, and that is welcome only. So it will locate whatever that link, whatever the username is. Okay, let's go to next. Partial text is like a regex. Partial text is not like a regex. Partial link text, it's not a partial text. Partial link text, it is not like a regex. It is only the partial link you are giving, partial text you are giving. You cannot write dot star or something here. That is not valid. It is just a plain text you need to give it here. You cannot give regex. Okay, fine. Let's move on. Hmm. Guys, at least you got an idea that how to use ID, name, tag name, class name. I will talk about CSS and XPath. Mostly we go with the CSS and XPath. The first preference, or preference should go with ID. If that element is having ID, I suggest go with locating that element with ID. If that element is having name, then go with name. And if that element is not having ID, not having name, and the tag name is unique, you can go with the tag name. But the risk with using a tag name is there might be multiple tags on the same page with the same name. So that is not always recommended. By dot class name, this is also good. In some cases, some websites, they do not use ID name. They are only using class name. So in that case, this is very helpful. For example, in case of a red bus, let me locate this search button. So what it is having ID, which is good. It is also having class. So how many classes it has? It has first class as FL and second class is button. So there are two classes. You can use any one of these classes to locate. So how do we write? In this case is we write something like this. So by dot class name, and which one is unique? FL is unique or button is unique? You need to decide it. I think it is FL is unique. So this is the way you can write a locator, or you can write by dot class name button. You cannot give both the classes at the same time, which is not valid here. FL space button, this is invalid. You can only give one class name if you are using by dot class name. But yes, there is option to give multiple classes if you are going with CSS and XPath. I will cover that later in this topic. All right, so let's have a quick automation session. This is going to be a very first automation testing session. So I'm going to create an Eclipse project so that you guys can get started with that. I will cover CSS and XPath maybe end of this session or maybe tomorrow if we don't get that much time. Guys, is it okay if I extend this session till 8:30? Just if you have any problem, just let me know on Skype. I wanted to check how many people are not comfortable till 8:30. Okay, let me open Eclipse. It is there. Sorry. Okay, I'm starting Eclipse. Okay, Akhilesh cannot attend till 8:30. I may be. Okay, Shraddha, no problem. I will definitely share you the video if you are not continuing with till 8:30. So if you miss any part of this training, you can always go back and refer this video. I will publish it on Vimeo once it is done. Okay, so I'm launching Eclipse. So to start with Selenium automation, you need to have Selenium first, right? And Selenium is just a jar library. Selenium HQ slash dot download is the official website, and the download thing you will get it on this URL. So seleniumhq.org/download, and there you see Selenium server standalone. Latest version is 3.4.0. Just click on this link. It will start downloading a jar file. So this is Selenium server standalone jar file. It is around 20.8 MB. Let's save it. It was released on this date, so 21st April. on my birthday. Okay, jar file, Prashant. Jar file, it is a library for Java. So if you know .NET, they use .dll file. If you know C language, they use this .h file. Remember header file, that kind of thing. If it is Java, then people generally create a library with a jar file. So if you want to use any third-party library, you will get it in form of jar. So you just need to add that jar in your project and you can go ahead and use it. Let me see if that download is completed. Jar file, it is something executable also. So if you double click sometimes, it will start your program. But for in our case, like Selenium jar, it is not having UI. Selenium is just API, we add it into our project and we utilize it. So I got that jar file downloaded. I will move that jar file into some other folder. Generally, I used to keep all jar files under one folder, all Selenium jar files. So let's copy paste that. Okay, I'm done. Now what I will do is go to Eclipse. This is my Eclipse. Okay, I'm sure that many of you people are guys starting for the first time with the Eclipse maybe. So just click close on this welcome screen once you after launch you launching Eclipse. See, it has no projects here. I'm creating a new project. You need to select Java project. Can you see Java project? No. So then go to other. Okay, go to other. Click on Java project. Go to general. Oops, I don't see that. No problem. Oh, can you see that Java project? Yeah, it is here. Say next, and then you have to give the project name. So let's wait for some time. Yeah, my project name is, let's say, uh, first Selenium program. I will say next. And finish. Just click on finish. It will ask you that this kind of associated with the Java perspective. Right now, can you see that perspective? It is J2EE. So that perspective will be switched. So you will see that J2 is switched to Java. Okay, let's wait for some time to get that project created. Perspective is just a view, it is just a view, how you are viewing this project, nothing much. Okay, so this is J2EE view and this is Java view. So I can see that project is in Java. Let's do some changes here. I don't need task list, I can close that. I don't need outline also, close that. There is a bottom panel and SRC folder is there with my project with some GRE system library. I prefer to go with Java 1.8 version. So in SRC, Java is object-oriented programming. The very first thing you need is to have a class, right? So I'm just writing a class, let's say automate IRCTC. IRCTC. So this is class naming convention. Every first character of each word should be in caps. So I is capital, A is capital and I is capital. This is just standard, it doesn't matter if you're not following standard, but you should write a good quality code. Now I need main method. Without a main method, your program is incomplete. So every method needs an entry point for execution. So let's write a main. Shortcut is MA control space, wait for some time. It will show you a drop down list with the option. Yeah, and you just have to hit enter. Okay, once more, MA, and just hit enter. It will generate that main method syntax, public static void main string array args. So this is the syntax for main in a Java. And I wanted to print a message system.println. I can just simply say that hi, welcome to Java. This is the hello world program, okay, but we are not here to learn Java. I'm expecting you should have a little bit basic knowledge about programming languages as well as also Java. You should be preparing Java first, but it should be fine, no problem. So if I run this code, just click on this play button or right click, run as, sorry, run as Java application, and it will ask you to save. I will say always save file. So to the console, you will see, hi, welcome to Java. So this is the simplest code, but I'm not interested in learning Java. I'm interested in learning Selenium. So in order to use Selenium in your Java project, you need to add that jar file in your project. Okay, you need to add a reference to that jar. So how do we do that? So just right click on the project, go to properties, okay, and can you see Java build path here? There libraries tab, and if the jar file is external jar, you need to say that add external jar. External jar means it is saved on C drive, D drive, somewhere, So I have saved it on my F drive software/selenium folder, and these are the old jar files um, from 23, 25, 37, and this is the latest jar file I just now downloaded. So I will just say okay, it is added. You can say apply, okay. Okay, once it is added, you can see reference libraries Selenium Server Standalone 3.4.jar is added. Now next thing is, once the jar is added, we can reuse the interfaces, classes, everything from that jar. So WebDriver, this is a interface. Can you see that I symbol? It is an interface. Um, I'm expecting you guys, you should know what is interface. Interface is just having empty methods and which is implemented by other classes. So I'm creating a reference variable of this interface saying that WebDriver driver, this is declaration. I will initialize also. So new, let's create a new object. You cannot create object of your interface, right? You can only create object of those classes which are implementing this interface. So in my case, Firefox driver is my class. Okay, let's say mouse over. See, this is C stands for, it's a constructor, but it is a class. Okay, class constructor, it's a special method which you use to initialize your class. So I'm just calling this constructor, so it is going to create my object, and that object will be stored in driver. You should know what is object. Okay guys, don't expect me to explain what is object. Because see, as I told you that learning Java itself takes a lot of time. So when I teach Java, it might take 40 hours to teach you core Java, but we have short of time, so I won't be able to go and really teach you the basics of Java, but still I will try to keep it simple so you can understand. So WebDriver driver is equal to new Firefox driver. This line, technically it is going to create object of Firefox driver class, but when we create object of Firefox driver class, it also Selenium automatically launches that browser, whichever browser you specified. So in my case it is Firefox. Okay, so this line, if I run this code, okay, if I run this code as a Java application, it should launch my Selenium Firefox browser. But thing is, Selenium onwards, Selenium 3 onwards, you need to specify driver path. Okay, if you don't do that, see what error you get. I'm just trying to run it. Right click, run as Java application. To the console, you will see an error message saying that the path to the driver executable must be set. So what should be the path? The path should be for this name. So under this name, webdriver.gecko.driver. So Gecko is something which is required. If you want to automate Firefox, you need a Gecko driver. If you want to automate Chrome browser, you need a Chrome driver. If you want to automate Internet Explorer, you need Internet Explorer driver. If you want to automate Safari, you need Safari driver. If you want to automate any browser, let's say Opera browser, you need Opera browser. If you want to automate any browser, you need to have that driver first. So what is a driver? Driver, it is an executable program that will that will actually control your browser. So let's go here, let's scroll little bit down here, and you will see third-party browser drivers which are not developed by Selenium HQ. Those are, first is Mozilla Gecko. So if you want to automate Firefox, you need to have Mozilla Gecko driver. If you want to go with Chrome, you should download this. If you want to automate Opera, download this. If you want to automate Edge, download this. Host driver, HTML unit driver, Safari driver. This is Windows Phone driver. This is Selendroid. It is actually outdated. That was for Android. iOS. This is also outdated. Nobody works on this. You can see that this was released around 2013. So the Selendroid was very old. BlackBerry, APM. So APM driver is also there. This is used for mobile automation. Vinium is for desktop application. So initially Selenium was only able to automate web browser, but now with the help of Vinium, you can also automate desktop applications also. So these are some different drivers which are there, and this is the real power of using a Selenium. So Selenium is just an API which can support automating any browser or any application until and unless you have that driver developed for that. So let me download that Mozilla Gecko driver, so which is 0.16.1. Let's click on here. It will redirect to GitHub. GitHub is the open source repository. All this Selenium source code and everything. Most of the open source project source code is hosted on GitHub. You can download source code or anything on the GitHub itself. So I'm using Windows 64 machine. If you're using Linux, use this. If you're using Mac, use this. If you're using 32-bit Windows, use this. I'm using 64-bit Gecko driver. So let's download that. Okay, it's downloaded. From that zip file, you need to get that exe file. So gecko driver.exe, let's copy and paste it somewhere. So but you should know where you are pasting, because that path has to be given. So what I will do is generally I keep a folder on C drive saying that Selenium drivers or something. No, I don't have it. I will keep it in E drive. Okay, right click. I will create a folder, new. Can you see new? It's taking so much time. Okay, it's because of that recording, it just kills my machine. All right, so I just kept that Gecko driver in D drive and drivers folder. Okay, let me copy that path. Now go to your code. So the error message was path to the driver executable must be set. Let's do that. How to set a path? So using system.set property, not properties, it is property. The first is you need to give the name of that path and then actual path. Guys, see, in path there are slash, a backward slash. You need to replace that backward slash with double slashes, or you can replace that backward slash with one forward slash. And the path name is this. So I'm just calling a method system dot. System is a class. On that class, I'm calling a method. As I'm calling on a class name, method on a class name, that means this is a static method. And I'm passing two parameters. First parameter is the name of the driver, and second parameter is where the driver exe is present. That way. Okay, so this is done. Now let's right click, run as Java application, see what happens. Okay, please ignore that red lines, startup field, component return failure. Please ignore that red lines. Okay, can you see that Firefox browser is launched on my screen? Okay, so as I told you, if you create object of your Firefox driver, it will launch your driver. Now next step is open a URL. Okay, so I will say driver dot get. So on that driver object, I will call a method get. So this get method, it will take a URL object with protocol. Do not forget to add a protocol. So let's say I want to IRCTC. So let's get that website name. Put that URL here. Okay. Do not forget the protocol. You know, sometimes people just tend to forget this thing. So which is very important. Okay. Now after doing this, it should open the IRCTC website. The next job is to, let's say, type user ID. Okay, so I will inspect that user ID. It is having ID. I told you the preference. If it is having ID, go with ID. If the ID is not there, find name. Name is there, yes. If the name is not there, you can go with class name or tag name, whichever is unique. You know. So in this case, class name is unique. So I can use any one of this locator. The first preference I will give it to ID. Okay, so let's copy that ID. So driver dot find element. Can you see that driver dot find element? There is a function inside a driver that will help me to find the elements. Okay, so driver dot find element. How to find the element? I need to find element. So there is a locator you need to specify. You know. So there we have to give a locator. So we'll learn few locators. One locator was ID. So just write by control space enter because it will add that import statement. This import statement will get added by dot id, and I will specify that id here. So driver dot find element. Now how to find element? By its id. And what is the id? Username id. This is the element. So find element method is going to return me object of web element. So let's copy that web element. I will give txt username equal to. So this is very simple code. Driver dot find element. It's a function call, and I'm just passing the locator how to find that element. And this find element method will return me object of txt username. That means it is the object which will refer to my text box. Okay. Now how to this is one example of locating element using a Java code. Now let's say I want to perform typing in the text box. So txt username dot send keys. All right, so send keys is for typing. There is no method as like type. It is not there. Instead there is a method send keys. I will tell you why send keys. Type means it will only type character, but when I say send keys, you can also send keys like tabs, enter, some function keys also you can send. So that is the reason they have given a generic name send keys, so you can send any key. So I'm typing Vikas Tange @gmail. I don't know is this is valid or what. Okay, let's try. So I just wrote few lines of a code. This line will launch my browser. This line should type open URL. This line should search and find element means the text box. It might be a radio button, it might be a checkbox or anything we call as a element. Those people who are working into qtp, they call as an object. So object and element both are same. And then object means that UI object, okay, not the Java object. Java object is different. So txt username, this will type Vikas Thange in the text box. Which text box? Username text box. So let's give a run, right click, run as Java application. Guys, we need to run a Java application because it is having public static void main. That is the reason we are running as a Java application. But keep this in mind that in automation testing, we do not have main method. Okay, we don't have main method in automation testing. Instead, we take help of testng. So as you can see, the URL is open. Now I am expecting that user ID should be typed, but the page is loading. Okay, loading is done, and you can see that user ID is typed as Vikas Thange. Can you see that? So this is the very first automation script we have created, and it is very basic, guys. Okay, I do understand this is very basic thing. Okay, now what I need to do is, let's say I want to click on this login button. Okay, so after clicking it will show some pop-up, and that is the different story completely. But let's click on this login. So for clicking on login, you need to locate that element first. So guys, can you see a firebug here? No, because this browser is launched via Selenium. Okay, so don't use this browser for inspecting. I'm closing it, but see there you see a firebug because this is our normal browser. It is not launched via Selenium. So I will use this. As I told you how to inspect, just click on here, go to that element and read the HTML. So it is having ID is equal to login button. It also has a class. It also has a name. It also has a value. On click something type equal to submit. Okay, as I told you, the preference should go in this order: ID, name, tag name, class name, link text, partial link text, CSS, and XPath. So is it having ID? Yes, it is having ID. So let's take that ID. Okay, go back here, and after typing Vikas Thange, let's locate that element. Find out, search and find that element for again. Which element? That is the button login. So web element, sorry, my bad, web element, it is now button login. Guys, you can give any name. This is like a normal variable name. You can give any name, but I'm giving bt and login because it is easy to understand what this element is. So driver dot find element. Now how to find? By its ID. And what is the ID? The login button is my ID. Okay, now I got that element, I got that button. Now next is, on that button I will call a click method. So when I call btn login.click, that means I am actually simulating a button click. All right. So I can just simply right click, run as Java application. Ignore this red lines which you get here. If you have any questions, you can ping me on Skype. Okay, the browser is open with that URL, and it should type username and click on login button. And see, it just clicked on login button, but I didn't enter password. It is showing me a alert message saying that enter password. All right, so this is the simple script. Our focus is learn locators today. So I won't be going and automating so many things today. This is just a beginning. Let's say I want to close my browser. I can close that browser using driver.quit. This line will close my browser, but it happens so fast. And also there is a pop-up window in your browser, right? This is a pop-up and you are trying to close a browser. Yeah, it happens. Okay, sorry. So this will close browser, but before closing I will add some wait, wait for some time before closing a browser. So that you can do using thread.sleep, and let's add some timeout in milliseconds. Assume that I want to wait for 10 seconds. That means 10,000 milliseconds. Guys, thread.sleep may throw a checked exception. So in Java there are two type of exception. One is checked and another is unchecked. So this may throw interrupted exception. This is of type checked. So if it is a checked exception, either you will have to declare as a throws, or you need to write try catch block. Okay, this is Java part, guys. So I'm just simply saying that throws, so that throws line will get automatically added here to the main method. Okay, and now that error is gone. Fine, so let's add and run as Java application. Okay, Selenium will automatically wait until that page is getting loaded. Okay, it's loaded. Clicked on login button. It is saying enter password. Wait for 10 seconds, and I'm expecting that browser to be closed. Okay, so the browser is closed and my test execution is done. You can see that red button is now disabled. Okay, so this is the first script we created. Let's focus on identifying locating elements more. So guys, just answer my question. Is this four things are clear to you? How to use this for locator? ID, name, tag name, class name, link text, partial link text. If you have any questions, please ping me on Skype. Else I will go ahead to CSS selector and expand. If you have any questions on ID, name, tag name, CS, class name, link text, partial link text, please ask me question. Else I will continue with CSS selector, because there is nothing much. You just have to go and read that HTML tag, inspect that HTML specific tag, and check if it is having ID is equal to something, name equal to something. That value you can use as a locator. The syntax I told you how to use it. The syntax is this. Let's say if it is class name, I will write by dot class control space. You can see that class name is there. So, and just whatever that class is, you will write it here. So CLS2, something like that. So it will locate that element this way. Okay. Yeah. I can use a tag name, but I told you that. Okay, Saurabh is saying how. Okay, first question from Ashish is, I think you can tell us for tag name, as there are multiple elements on a website. So Yash, how you were able to identify there were two different class names in the example you took earlier? Okay, because okay, let me answer first Suyash question. See, in red bus, this is the element which is having class is equal to FL, and it is space. So if there is a space in a class name, that means this is a separate class. I mean, there are two classes. FL is one class, and space, and then button is another class. So there are two classes, FL and button. So space is the separator. Prashant, what if I used partial link text, but there are more possible of having some names? Okay, very good. So okay, now the situation is, see, on IRC-TC there are multiple input tags. Okay, we already checked that there are multiple input tags. So what will happen if you write this code by tag name and input? Okay, this line, what it will do is, it will match all the input tag, but it is going to return the first matching input element. So let's say if your page is having 5 input tags, and if you have written a code driver.find element by tag name, it will match all 5, but it can only return first element. So only that first element will be written. On that first element, that click will be performed, that way. So though there are multiple tag names matching, and if you use driver.find element, it will only return the first tag. Okay, there is another way. If you want to get all the matching elements, that you can do it, but for that you need a Java collection. So I will tell you how to do that. Let me correct this script first. Okay. Now I will give you an example. Get all tags matching with tag name input, or having tag name input. Okay, get all elements. So in driver there is a method, driver dot find. Can you see that we use this first method, find element, and then we passed by. So this was returning a web element only, but there is another method, find, what is this, elements. It is elements, and which takes a locator. By means locator, by means how to locate that element, and what it is going to return, it is going to return list of web element. So list is a collection from Java. You should know, array list, linked list from Java. So now maybe you might have understood the importance of Java, why you should know Java for working into automation testing. So list of web element will be written. So in my case, I will write by dot. See, there are different locators. You can see all the locators here. So by dot, I will use tag name. Where is it? Yeah, tag name. And my tag name is input. Let's add semicolon. This find elements will now return list of web elements. So let's copy that list, control space. I'm saying control space to import. This list will be imported from, it should be imported from java.util, not from java.awt. Okay, some people do mistake, they import from java.awt. So I'm recommending from import from java.util. So E means what type of list. So my list is web element. So this is list of web element, and then you can give names. Let's say all. This is variable name. You can give any name. So I just gave name as all input elements. So this is going to give me all the matching elements. Maybe if it is matching 5 elements, it will return me a list of 5 web element. And you can access that elements using the simple collection methods. Sorry. Okay, you can do this. You can check dot is empty. Okay, if it is empty, then you can just print list found empty that way. But what I will do, I will add not. Okay, if that list is not empty, I have added a not, and if it is empty, it will return true, not will make it false, that way. So if that list is not empty, then I will just write a for loop to iterate over all the web elements, and I can perform send keys, send keys, send keys, or something like that, whichever operation you wanted to do. So for now I will just say system.out.println. It will print the size, total, input, tags found on page, and I will just print that count, how many input tags are there. So all input elements dot size is the method. Size, it is coming from collection, guys. You should know collection, how to use collection. So size is a function call that I'm calling on a list. So it will give me how many elements are present. It will give me that count of matching to this locator, whichever locator I'm passing. So what I will do is I will cut paste that code of clicking on login button here, and this is the code which will actually tell me is there any matching element or not. So no put tag found on page. I just added an else case. If it is empty, then it will print that no input tag found on page. That's it. So let's run it. Collections, right, data structure, array list, tags, queues, and uh, doubly linked list, and those things. Those are following under collection, trees, everything. So list is also a collection. There are some types of a list, array list, linked list, that way. This is Java topic, guys. Just to learn collection, it will take 2 to 3 hours. There are different types of collections. If you want more details on a collection, I have a pre-recorded session on a collection. I can share with you guys. Give me a second. Okay, my test script execution is done. There is some exception. There is some exception. So what is it? It is saying that no exception, guys. When you know, this is also one case. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to I'm trying to locate that element. Sorry, a login button, but it is not matching, you know, that ID. There is no element found with the tag name as login button. Is this is the right way I have written a code? Is it the tag name? No, it should be what? ID. Okay, so I just corrected my mistake. Close that recently opened browser and run it. So let's see. Feels like learning alien language, Namit. This is funny. I know, you know the difference between the manual tester and automation tester, guys. The main difference between manual tester and automation tester is automation tester is more technically sound, and that is the reason there are openings for automation tester, more openings for automation tester comparatively manual, more package for automation tester because he is having more technical skills. Company is paying for the skills, not for the human resources, else they would hired anybody and they would have deployed in our job, but that is not the case. We are getting paid for our skills and technologies and that way. So it's IT, it is like that only. So the question is, so when you receive an error, last line for closed browser was not executed. Yes, Suresh, nice observation. So let's say if I get exception on, let's say this line, okay, if I get an exception on this line, I haven't done exception handling, exception handling with the help of try catch block. Those who know already Java or C++, try catch block is used for handle exception, but I didn't. So what my JVM will do, the Java program will automatically get terminated at this line only. So all these lines will be skipped. That is the reason I had to close that browser manually. Okay, so the test case is executed and you can see the outcome here. So total input tags found on the page is 26. So this is as expected. Yes, Akhil, I can share study material for Java tutorials. If you are, if you want to really learn Java, it will take at least 40 hours to learn Java, and I would personally recommend please go through Java tutorial. If you are my classroom student, I can teach you Java for 40 hours that way, but for online within 8 hours it is not possible to cover Java also. All right, so study material, yes, I will definitely share with the whatever ebooks I have, the links for tutorials on Selenium, or the videos. So as I said, like collection video I have, I can share you that collection video if you are interested. Yes, definitely, Chitransha, I can do that. I don't have any recorded session apart from collection on Java. I have one recorded session available on YouTube that is on how to use cloud for Selenium and those kind of stuff. But for Java, I think I don't have. But yes, I will definitely will help you out if you need any help on learning with any reference material or anything like that. All right, so this is done. Now I am able to get that count. In fact, I can actually have a for loop and traverse from first till the last 26th element. That way I can do. But let's not to focus on that. Let's cover up the remaining stuff. One example is remaining from is the working with the link text. So let's write a separate class, other class. I will just Control C and Control V here. So it will copy paste the existing class. Control C, Control V. Give name. So I will give automate forgot password. So this is a test case. This is another class, not actually a test case. What I will do is I'm just deleting this code till here. Okay. So what I will do is, okay, let me have that thread.sleep. Yeah. Now after opening the URL, click on forget password link. So how to do that? Let's go here. See, forget password link is there, or you can click on sign up also, whichever you want. I'm taking forget password example. It is having a link text. See, this is the text. This is the link text I'm talking about. I selected in a white background. So you just need to copy that. It is not having ID. It is not having class name. It is not having name equal to something. It is having a tag named E, but that A tag might be matching with so many links. So let's say sign up is also A tag. This is also A tag. These all are anchor tags. So I will not use tag name. So instead what I will use is I will use driver.find element by dot link text, and the link text is basically forgot password. Now P is capital, is it? Yes. All right. So this line is going to give me the web element. I can store that web element as web element equal to. Okay. That way I can store that element dot click. So it is going to click on that element. Okay. I think guys, this is the right time I will tell you refactoring this code. See, it requires 2 lines to click on an element. Basically, the first line is getting an element and second line is clicking on that element. I can actually combine this both the line. See, I'm just removing this stuff. Let's delete that. Driver.findElement method is going to give me the web element. On that web element at the end, just go to add a dot. So on that web element, I'm calling a method click. If it is a text box and if I want to clear it, I can use clear method. Okay. Uh, I can also get the location of that web element. I can get also the size, get rect. Rect means the rectangle size. How much is the rectangular size of that element? I can get a snapshot of that element also. There are so many things. Get size will tell you the dimensions, height, width thing. Get text will return you the text. So in my case, what is my text? The text is itself is a forgot password. So get text will return the text on that element. Let's say there is a heading h1 tag and you want to read the text of that heading. So you can say that driver.find element by link text and say get text. So it will return whatever the heading is. There are other methods: is displayed, is enabled, is selected. Is displayed is to check whether that element is displayed on a page or not. I will, in next session, I will go more details on this method. Is enabled will help you to check whether that element is enabled or is it disabled. Is selected will tell you whether that checkbox or radio button is it selected or not. So these are few methods. Right now I will just use click. So as you can see, now within a one line, I am able to find that element, also click on that element. This mechanism is known as method chaining, where I am calling first method. That first method returns object, and on that object I am again calling a second method. This is known as method chaining. Another example of method chaining is, let's say I want to maximize my browser, okay, or restore or maximize or something, so the code is driver dot manage. See, it is a what? It is a method, opening bracket, closing bracket, that means method. So this is a method. Manage returns object of options on that options object, I will call what to manage. I want to manage window. So when I call a window method, it will return object of window, and on that object I will again call maximize method. Maximize, is it returning anything? Void. That means no, it is not returning anything. So this is another example of method chaining. I'm calling one method after other method. So manage dot window dot maximize. This is one. Okay. Also another example is timeout. Sometimes what happens is I'm trying to click on a button, but the website is very slow, the internet is very slow, that showing that button takes some time. Okay, so in that case, our automation script is very fast. It will just try to execute find button and click that button, but the problem is website is very slow, that it is taking some time to load that button. So one option is you can add thread.slip. Okay, that like we did, thread.slip is one option, but it is not recommended. It is not at all recommended. Okay, I will tell you why. Because it is a mandatory wait. If the button is appeared in half of the second, still thread.slip will wait for that given specified time, let's say 10 seconds or something. And that might be a case, or let's take worst case, uh, say that button, you have added a thread.slip for 5 seconds and that button didn't show within a 5 seconds, it took 6 seconds to load on a page. So in that case, your automation script will fail, saying that no such element exception. So not to add thread.slip. This is the reason why not to add thread.slip. So I will tell you, another better way to add such a kind of cases. So driver dot manage. Okay, I'm just configuring driver. There are timeouts, and I'm just setting implicit wait. So implicit wait for, let's say, 30 seconds. And what is 30? It is time unit dot seconds. You need to specify what is that 30. So this line, driver.manage.timeouts.implicit wait, this is going to set maximum timeout to wait until that element appear. So if I'm trying to find out a button but which is not there on a screen, so Selenium WebDriver will automatically wait for the maximum period of 30 seconds until that button is displayed. Okay, so this is the way it will work. If that button is displayed within 2 seconds, first 2 seconds, then remaining 28 seconds will be saved, or my automation script will directly go and execute the next statement. Okay, let's take another example. If that button took let's say 31 or 32 seconds, in that case my automation script will wait for 30 seconds. As soon as the 30 seconds timeout is completed, it will fail the test case with no such element exception. Hope implicit timeout is clear. So it is good to have implicit timeout. Do not add implicit timeout very large, like 1 minute or 5 minutes or something. Have minimum implicit wait. Okay. Now run the okay. What I was doing is, okay, this test case is for clicking on forget password. Now I have to verify whether that after clicking on a forget password, the forget password JSF page is opened or not. This is something which I need to verify. So let's read that after clicking, okay, string page URL is equal to driver dot find element by dot tag, sorry, driver dot find element. No, I don't have to find element for reading browser title. Okay, so you can just say browser dot get current URL method. Get current URL method will return you the web page URL which is currently there in your browser. And as well, so I will just current page URL is the page URL which I read. Okay, this is string concatenation with the system.println. I can see few questions on Skype. Okay guys, this is 8:30. I think I have to take hard stop here because most of you might want to go to office or something. So I will take a hard stop here. Tomorrow we will continue from where we left today. Let me check the questions quickly. Ashish, will implicit timeout applicable for each action on class? Okay, very good question. So implicit timeout is applicable for all find elements. So let's say if I have added here, okay, it will be applicable for all find elements which will be there. So this is one find element. If you add some find element here, it will be applicable to all find elements. I hope that will answer your question. Implicit wait and wait for every web element on a load the page. Okay, implicit wait will wait until that element is not found. For example, I'm saying that click on forget password link, but it is not there on a page, so it will wait. The page load timeout is different. By default Selenium will wait until your page is loading, which is not related with the implicit timeout. Okay, implicit timeout is related with driver.findElement, and let's say if you clicked on a link and then page is loading, that is automatically handled by Selenium itself, which is known as page load timeout. We will cover this synchronization maybe some other topic. What is the difference between implicit wait and explicit wait? One example is implicit wait. It will wait automatically, that element is appearing on a screen until that element is appearing on screen automatically once you set. Explicit wait is forcefully you are asking WebDriver to wait. For example, thread.slip. It is an explicit wait. You are forcing WebDriver to wait for 10 seconds or 5 seconds or something explicitly, or another example of explicit wait is you can add a wait on some condition. For example, wait until new window opens. That is example of explicit wait. Wait until that element becomes invisible. That is another example of explicit wait. So I hope that answers your question. In explicit wait, we use WebDriver wait class. So maybe in some other day, I will cover a synchronization topic that it is not there in the planned course content, but yes, I will definitely try to cover up that. Can we use explicit wait also? Yes, you can use explicit wait. There is a specially class WebDriver wait that we can use. Okay. If you have any other questions, just ping me on Skype. I will try to answer it. That's all for today. Thank you. Thank you very much for attending and giving your precious time. We will continue tomorrow from where we left. So we will first cover up CSS and XPath, and then we'll go to the next other user action simulations also. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye. Post your questions on Skype. Thank you.